Okay, I'm back. Conventions are the place for comics, video games, anime, and or sci-fi fans, and the main event is where you can connect with others who share the same interest as you do. You can find exclusive merchandise and collectibles with a ton of vendors on the show floor. And you can meet your favorite celebrities and artists, get their autographs and photo ops, or participate on their panels. And let's not forget about those amazing and creative cosplayers who love to showcase their costumes. Overall, conventions like Toronto Comicon will provide a fun and immersive experience for all of us. Why Toronto Comicon? Well, the short answer is that the panel application was submitted by Knight of Crimson and he got approved 2 weeks before the show, by the way. So I got everything ready for our trip. We traveled by bus because, again, short notice. To give you a little bit of context about Toronto Comicon, well, it's a 3-day sci-fi, horror, anime, and gaming event that takes place at the Metro Toronto Convention Center. I'm sure you have conventions like this ones in your city, so I'm actually curious to know. Let me know in the comments, write them down. I am very curious to know. I'll be sharing a more personal and travel side of me, just like this Toronto video blog, and more exclusive content just for YouTube members. So if you want to join and get access to these special videos, consider becoming a YouTube member today. My first mission at Toronto Comicon was to find the most creative and impressive cosplays. For the record, I planned to bring my cosplay, but I couldn't because I had to travel lightly. I have to say that my favorites were Master Chief from Halo and Kamen Rider, so check them out. Let me know which ones were your favorites in the comments down below, and be sure to follow them on social media to share a little bit of love. Oh, and help me tag those other ones that weren't credited here. I will really appreciate, so that I couldn't get everybody's social, by the way, but I try my best. Do you like trading card games? And how about Star Wars? If your answer was yes to both of them, then you're gonna love Star Wars Unlimited. This is a fast-paced, easy-to-learn trading card game, TCG, and you and your opponent face off an exciting head-to-head battle featuring a ton of iconic Star Wars characters. Whether you're a Star Wars fan or a card game fan or both, Star Wars Unlimited is a game that you can enjoy. I had a chance to interview Oliver from Asmodee Canada, who gave me a little bit more details about it.
Star Wars Unlimited is a dueling card game. Objective is pretty simple. You simply need to destroy the enemy's player's base.
Right.
And the way that you do that is that you will have units, leaders coming to the battlefield and just attacking and be the first to destroy the other's base. So yeah, it was launched on March 8th and it's already available to all board game stores across Canada.
Can you give us an example?
Yeah. So depending on the leader that you choose, because each leader has different colors on them. So if you play, for example, Leia, she's in the Empire Strikes Back, but when she was on the hot base, so she loves having a lot of people around her to attack, because she can on the same turn do 2 attacks with 2 units difference.
Okay.
But if you want to if you're really like an aggressive player, you can either play the Grand Inquisitor or Darth Vader, that really loves to just swing at your enemies and destroy everything on their path. Or if you're like me and you like to do tricks and all that, you can either play Boba Fett, which is my favorite leader in that game. And Boba Fett, when he destroys someone or his buddies destroy someone, you can get the resource back in play. So in the first set, which is called Spark of Rebellion, you have 14 leaders to play, and you get to customize your deck around their leader that you choose. So on the first set, you have 252 cards that are all unique, and with those cards, you build a 50 minimum deck, and you duke it out with your buddies.
And how can anybody start playing the game, where they can find it?
So on StarWarsUnlimited.com, you can go and find the event locator. So you can just enter, let's say, for example, Toronto, and you can give like 10 kilometers radius, and you'll find a local board game store that is selling the game. And also on the other tab, you can find events. So you can play with people, as most of the store does one event per week. And also to start, we do have a 2-player starter set. It does contain everything to learn to play, even play mats in paper to get all the rules and all the quick setups and all that. And the starter decks are already competitive from the get-go, so you can just go to your local board game store and play. And the first set is Luke versus Darth Vader, which is it's a classic matchup to start.
Probably it's a bit too early to jump into conclusions, but how would you say that people are actually receiving this new game?
The game is really is higher than our expectations. Okay. People are really liking the artwork, which is all brand new for that game. Every card in that game is a brand new artwork that was never done. And there's a lot of influences from animes and all that, and also the old comic books from Star Wars. So, and also you can see a lot of different flares from the different cards. So you can have in the same set like 2 Boba Fett's that are drawn differently. So,
different artworks.
And so also we have playmats that you can buy, and those have all full arts that are really beautiful, and it's all custom made.
So, all right. Well, thank you very much for your time.
It's been a pleasure.
If you're interested to learn more about Star Wars Unlimited, visit their website at starwarsunlimited.com. As I was walking the show floor at Toronto Comicon, an unexpected collaboration occurred. You guys are not going to believe this, but I just found the Obsessive Gamer. Excuse me, sir, are you the Obsessive Gamer?
Yes, it is I, the Obsessive Gamer. I'm doing pretty good at this convention. With the prices are a little interesting, let's just say here.
Why don't we could just go and check it out?
Alrighty, let's see here what we got going.
All right. What exactly are you more interested in today? What are we gonna find?
Well, I mean, I was looking at more of the N64 stuff here.
Yeah, they're over there.
Yeah, ever since I did my Donkey Kong 64 video.
And I'm seeing something over there with the 4 swords. I want that one.
Oh yeah, I have that one actually. Link to the Past 4 swords combined. Of course, that's not even the best version of the original 4 swords. That's on the DS.
And now that we're talking about Zelda, I have 2 questions for you. Okay,
sure.
What would you say the Legend of Zelda games are doing obsessively right and obsessively wrong?
Pre-Breath of the Wild or post-Breath of the Wild?
Let's start with post-Breath of the Wild.
Well, with post-Breath of the Wild, I mean, the open world I feel is mastered at this point. I mean, in this case, I wanted Zelda to be able to go anywhere, be able to truly feel like an adventure. It did it properly. I mean, technically what Zelda 1 was trying to do, but it's done it now properly. What it's doing wrong is, well, the dungeons are too simplified now. It's too open-ended. I mean, there should be more... I would say Zelda dungeons should be in a way more linear, not just perfectly open-ended, and dungeon counts down to what, 4 or 5 now.
Yep.
So yeah, that's the problem really I have now with these. Combine that open world with Twilight Princess's dungeons, then you got, I say, a master of a game.
Yes. And how about the classic ones?
2D or 3D?
I mean, I should have known better because the Obsessive Gamer. I have to be more specific. So let's start with the 3Ds.
All right, with 3D Zelda, going up anywhere between Ocarina of Time to Skyward Sword, I think the problem was really, the adventure aspect wasn't too fleshed out in me, and that was really hardware limitations. Some of them did it just right. I would say, like Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, felt like there was enough to be able to explore and enjoy. Meanwhile, games like Skyward Sword made it a little too limiting Yeah, which is why it's actually my least favorite of my 3D Zeldas.
Mine is also my least favorite, unfortunately.
Well, you got good taste, clearly, then. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But as well, I feel that the dungeons were altogether throughout the 3D series pretty much perfect as is. There's no real problems with that. Okay, wait, open world I kind of like, because Wind Waker's open world was, I would say, probably the best we get from that classic 3D series.
For me, Ocarina of Time was like the first encounter that I had on like open world, and then when I started playing Wind Waker, I was like, oh, I was so wrong, because you know, like just sailing through the sea and everything, it was just mesmerizing and amazing. So I really loved it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I felt the same. I mean, going to Ocarina of Time, I played 2D Zelda at first, so going to Ocarina and just seeing Hyrule field open up, that was something else. Going to Wind Waker, and especially Twilight Princess, when you first see it at open world, it's something else altogether. Before, of course, Breath of the Wild kicked in, and yeah.
And what about 2D games?
So, 2D games, with 2D Zelda games, I mean, the top-down approach is a really nice way to go about it. It's its own gameplay, it's its own genre. It's one thing I don't want with 2D Zelda slowly going away, and that's what it seems to be happening, because we really haven't gotten a true 2D Zelda, and by 2D Zelda, I mean, like, gameplay 2D Zelda, since Spirit Tracks, whoops, let's move aside. Yeah. Since technically Spirit Tracks counts as a 2D Zelda because gameplay was 2D when you think about it. That was the last original one we got. Everything else is either a remake or just reusing old assets like A Link Between Worlds did. You know, like, I love A Link Between Worlds. But yeah, that's the thing though. It's a gameplay that's unique to its own. I wish I would stay in their series because it's just as fun as the 3D ones in terms of what it is, but still different enough. Yep. However, at the same time, there's a lack of evolution to it. They really cannot evolve that formula too much more because it's limited at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, A Link to the Past tried to do... I mean, A Link Between Worlds tried to do that whole wall mechanic, going across walls between cracks and everything, which was nice and unique to its own, and I would prefer it stay, but I know with Nintendo, they want to try to keep evolving the formula because that's Nintendo. They want to always do that.
Absolutely. Hey, I really want to thank you. It has been a pleasure to stumble upon you here at Toronto Comicon. If you would like to share a little bit more of how they can find you, what are you currently working at, so that everybody knows exactly where to find you.
All right, well, of course, you can search for The Obsessive Gamer on YouTube. I do cut content, I do gaming history, and just various informal comedies on my channel as well. Currently working on, well, actually several projects. It's Pokemon Stadium to cut content, some gaming, gaming history of Final Fantasy VII, and as well as doing something about the problem of the digital age of gaming.
That sounds exciting. Thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day here at the con.
You too. Have a good day.
Bye. I want to thank the Obsessive Gamer for being super kind and awesome with me to accept this last-minute collaboration. And it was such a pleasure to meet him in person, finally. Be sure to check his channel out. I'm sure you're gonna love his content as much as I do. At any convention event, or most of them, you can submit a proposal for a panel. You can talk about anything: horror, anime, cosplay, gaming. Well, Night of Crimson submitted storytelling across media for a panel, and I got to be the moderator for the panel. We weren't expecting that many people because our panel was the first one on the last day, Sunday, but we were amazed by the amount of people that actually joined that day. The room was actually full. We also gave away some prizes during our Q&A session, and this is my second time hosting a panel, and it's always very exciting to see how many people are interested on a certain topic that most of us are actually passionate about, right? If you wish to watch the entire panel, visit a Night of Crimson's YouTube channel. I'll leave the link in the description down below. Thank you very much, Toronto Comicon staff, for giving us this amazing opportunity. Now, when I go to conventions, I'm usually on the lookout for Nintendo, Disney, The Legend of Zelda, of course, and most recently, Metroid merch. Because Toronto Comicon was a last-minute thing, I wasn't really prepared, but I still managed to buy a few things, so let me show you. A Link Between Worlds poster. There were a ton of places selling these kind of posters. You were able to find like for movies, anime, and video games. It wasn't very obvious for you to see it. Like, let me just move this a little bit. It wasn't pretty obvious for you to find it, so we managed to find this one. Because if you think about it, even though A Link Between Worlds is a beautiful game, it's not very trendy. Like, not everybody, you know, it's currently playing this title, and that's one of the reasons reasons why I wanted this, because I've been recently collecting a lot of Legend of Zelda posters everywhere, and this one is actually quite big. I don't know exactly where I'm gonna put it, but I was very amazed by the quality of this poster. These Metroid amiibos. I got Samus Aran from Metroid. I know it sounds a little bit silly for me to be saying Metroid because, well, there is another amiibo, but that Samus is from Super Smash Bros. This one is from the Metroid series, specifically from Samus Returns. And of course, the baby. The Metroid amiibo. I love that it's squishy, which, by the way, if you don't know exactly where that expression is coming from, is from a video called Something About Super Metroid video from Terminal Montage. The baby. Totally recommend it, but be sure to lower the volume on your headsets because it's very loud. And lately we have been collecting these Bandai Pokemon model kits to build. We couldn't resist getting Ho-Oh Pokemon. And one of the things that I really love about these is not only the time that you have to invest assembling it, but how perfectly the pieces fit in a way that you can't really tell that this was assembled at all. I also bought these very nice Triforce and Kingdom Hearts crown pins from a place called Click and Equipped. They had a huge selection of great quality pins, if you ask me. I mean, look at the package. It's just simply stunning. And I saved my favorites for last. And special shout out to 3D Nerd Creations for their amazing 3D printed creations. I swear I was going to buy everything on that booth, but I contained myself, okay? I got Navi, and I also got Tail from Majora's Mask. They are not just super cute, but they also light up. I was amazed when I just got them. I was like, yes, I definitely want them. Now, these earrings. Can you tell me what they are? I'll give you a hint. If you collect 4 of them, it's going to give you a heart container, okay? Wouldn't you agree with me? This is super unique and original. Well, I wouldn't say original, but I think this is the first time that I've seen them. I also bought them from that booth. And even though this is not 3D printed, this is a must. A Lon Ranch milk. And no, in case you're wondering, it's not really liquid. It's actually painted from the inside. It almost makes you feel like it's actually a milk. Beep, 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 beep. Yep, it's painted. I can tell you that. And the last things that I got from there are these adorable Ocarina of Time Spiritual Stone. These are 3D printed, so we're gonna start with the Kokiri Emerald, as you're able to see here. Then we have the Goron Ruby, and finally we have the Sora Sapphire. These were a great addition to my current collection, and even though you might think that they're like super simple, they really do mean a lot to me. So again, shout out to 3D Nerd Creations. Be sure to check their Instagram. I am 100% certain that you're gonna love what they have there. Overall, I had a lot of fun. I was amazed how much I was able to find or to do, even though I was there just for Sunday because I was actually working. I wish I had a little bit more time to take advantage of everything that Toronto Comicon has to offer. Until next year, I guess. If you enjoyed this video, there is an older video that I made where I wanted to see how much I was able to find with $100 at a local convention. So I'll see you there. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to subscribe for more content like this one. And as always, a special shout out to all my YouTube members. Thank you very much for making this possible. And I'll see you soon. Bye!